Sooner or later, you're going to want to put text in your image, so let's now take a look at how that works. And let me direct your attention to the left side of the workspace. In the toolbar, you'll see an icon that says T, and that's T for text. And you click on it, and you'll see the drop-down list gives you 4 total choices. The bottom 3 are advanced applications of the type tool, and we're not going to address those right now. So let's click on the top one, and as we bring our cursor into the image, you'll notice that it looks differently. And wherever we put this cursor is where the text is going to be deposited in the image. So let's go ahead and just click here for no particular reason. And we can see the sample text come up with the Latin placeholder verbiage. Now, when we do that, if you direct your attention to the layer stack on the right side of the workspace, you see that we have another layer that's added to the layer stack with a T over here where the image would normally be. And of course, that is your text layer. Now, let's go ahead and do another one. Click on the Move tool, and then we'll reacquire the Type tool and click on it and deposit another layer of text. And for every area of text that you deposit onto the image, you have another layer that's added to the layer stack. I'm going to go ahead and remove this layer, and then we'll go ahead and work on what we have. Now, in order to reposition this text, you come up and get the Move tool. Put the cursor inside the text, left click, and you can drag it around. Now, obviously, you want to be sure and not put the text where it's going to collide with the focal point of the image, which in this case is the clouds around El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. So what we want to do is put this text down here in the lower left-hand corner where it'll be kind of out of the way. Now, obviously, black text in a very dark area of the image is not what we want, and so let's go ahead and change the color of the text. And the way you do that is, again, you acquire the Text tool, or the Type tool, whatever you want to call it. Bring the cursor into the text, and then we can do our editing. But let me show you one small thing to be aware of with this tool. Now, many times, and this has been a source of my frustration when I was first learning how to do this, is that you come down and you think you're close enough. You get just a little bit careless. You get close and you think you're there, and you click on it thinking you've chosen your text, and what you end up doing is adding another layer of text. And so you think, okay, I'll hit delete and it'll go away. Then you're left with a vertical flashing line. And what that does is simply reset the text that was displayed before, and then you can put more text in its place, or you can delete the lettering by hitting the delete key, but yet that vertical flashing line is still there. Well, how do you get rid of that vertical flashing line? Well, you come to the layer stack right over here, and you'll see Layer Tool, right-click, delete layer, confirm yes, or if you don't want to see this dialog box again, just click on Don't Show Again. But I like this little safety net here in case I made a mistake. Go ahead and hit yes, and then that layer will be deleted and you won't see the flashing vertical line anymore. If you want to choose the existing text that's on the image, make sure that the icon does not have that little box around it. You'll see, watch it change. It has the box, now the box goes away. When the little box that's around the cursor icon goes away, then you are in a position to select the text that is existing on your image. Go ahead and choose it. Now, let me direct your attention to the options bar up here. And this little area here is where you choose the color. And we're going to choose a color that is a complement to the palette that exists in the image, and that's orange. And we take and click on it, and we can click on it and it immediately changes the color of the text to something like this. And this will be great. So we'll go ahead and choose that, say OK. Now what we want to do is change the text to read El Capitan, which is the name of this geological formation in Yosemite National Park. It's the largest contiguous piece of granite in the world, by the way. Beautiful thing to photograph. So now that we have the text that we want in there, let's take a look and see if we want to change the font. And that's a very easy thing to do. Again, we choose the text like that, and we're going to have to reposition it because the drop-down list is going to be very, very large. So we'll put this right here where we can see it. Then we choose the Type tool again, Click on the drop-down list, and we see a number of choices. Now, as we drag the cursor over each individual font name, we see it change as it's displayed on the image. And we don't have to click anything. All we have to do is drag the cursor over the font name, and it changes automatically. Makes it very, very easy to see what you're doing, to choose whichever font face we want in there. Your list is going to look different from mine because I have a gazillion fonts installed in my computer and they're all displayed here. So again, yours will look very, very different, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to choose Adobe Caslon Pro, which is chosen up here. Go ahead and click on it. And now we're going to reposition for our final location. Get the Move tool, click in the lettering, and simply drag it over. And there you'll notice these little pink lines that come up. And if I wanted to put this text right in dead center of the image, I would use these lines to help me in my positioning. And right there is dead center in the middle of the image. So when I come down here, I'll put the text right here, and later I'm going to put a second line of text underneath the words El Capitan. Let's go ahead and look at some of the options that you have for changing the appearance of this phrase. Go ahead and choose the lettering. And we can do this from the options bar up here. I mean, we have the font face, we have the font size, we have the fine tuning of the appearance, we have the alignment, either left, center, or right. But really the best way to do it is come to the right side of the workspace and you'll see this little A icon. That's the character palette. Click on it and you'll see a number of changes. Now, what we can do is we can come up to this little area here and put the cursor over the icon, left click, hold it down, and we can drag it to the left to make it smaller. We can drag it to the right to make it larger. We don't have to enter individual numbers. Now we can come down here and we can make the lettering taller, or we can make it very, very short, just like that. So we can change the appearance of the lettering by simply using some of these choices. Now I'm going to widen the kerning ever so slightly, just a tiny little bit to right there. It's not much of a change, but I think the previous display was a little bit crowded. Here is bold, italic. This is every letter capitalized. This is the first letter in each word capitalized, etc., etc., etc. Simply by clicking on one of these choices, you can arrange this text any way you want to. So a lot of options available to you in here. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Now let's add a second line of text. And what you have to do in order to do that is click on the Move tool, then click on the Type tool again, bring it into the image. And it doesn't matter where you start. I'm just going to click it right here. And this time I'm going to come get another typeface. And I want it to be, let's see, I don't want this one. Let's choose this one right here. Go ahead and click on it. I'm going to type in the words Yosemite National Park. Get the Move tool, bring it down below. And you see those pink lines? Now watch what happens when I move this to the left. When it's properly aligned, that little pink line will come up and show you, and it actually snaps the lettering into place. You let go and it'll be deposited right there. Now obviously that's a little bit large, so again we're going to choose the Type tool. We're going to choose the lettering. We're going to come up to the character palette, grab the size, and we're going to go to the left to bring that really smaller than El Capitan. We'll click on the Move tool, and we'll put this under here. And the pink line comes up telling us that we're aligned. Now what I want to do is I want to change the kerning to match the width of the word El Capitan. Grab the Type tool, choose the lettering, come get the kerning right here, and I'm going to go to the right, and then come get the Move tool, and then I'm going to reposition it right here. Now it could still go a little bit more, so I'll get the Type tool again, choose the lettering, and I'll add just a little bit to that to approximate it. I'm not going to get real particular about exactly how it looks because you do get the idea. Now we'll bring it down Adjust it until those pink lines come into alignment. Put that right there, just like that. No, that's too close to the P. So we come get the move tool, which we have, click on it and pull it down. Now you can also position this by hitting the up arrow key. You can see up, down, move it to the right with the arrow keys, or move it to the left. Now, unfortunately, when you use the arrow keys, you don't have the alignment guides to help you, so you kind of have to eyeball it. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right there, and that's how I want that to look. Now let's say I want to reposition both of these. I like the way these are positioned in relation to each other, but I want to reposition the entire text slightly in the image. Then we come over to the layer stack, and what I really like personally is I like to stack the layer stack to be the same as it appears on the image. So in other words, the word El Capitan will be above Yosemite National Park. It just helps me to stay organized. So you choose both layers, and then you can come over and move both lines of text at the same time anywhere you want them to be on the page. So I'm going to put this right here, just like that. Now the other thing you can do with these layers is you can group this if you think everything is perfect exactly the way you want it, but yet you don't want so many layers to exist on your layer stack. Left click, drag it down to this little folder icon, let go, and it turns into a group. Now you can expand the group and work on each individual letter, or you can leave it grouped and collapsed. That helps your organization in the layer stack. I'm going to go ahead and close out the character panel, and that's the basics of how to put text in your image in Photoshop.